Good morning, Fantasy Football Squad, and welcome to another episode of the Brady Fantasy Football Podcast. This is the Week 1 review. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what is going on here. We got a new name coming at you from the Brady Fantasy Football team here. Do your job, because we are making a quick change to the team. We're changing the strategy a little bit. We are switching to a Patriots heavy offense. We got the New England Patriots defense. Got Bourne here that I might throw in, and then we got Ramondre Stevenson and Mac Jones coming in to replace the not so good Geno there, who had a rough week 1. I haven't given up on him yet. Didn't drop him, but I dropped Kadarius Toney though, that's for sure. That was a close one. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into last week's matchups and take a look at what happened. We'll take a look at the upcoming matchups like we normally do. See how it goes. So first off, Mr. Travis, no hair on his legs, put a bet on this week to see, loser between me and him this week had to shave their legs, and the photos and videos he sent of it to me and to the group chat there were just, made my whole day, made my whole week. I was very, very happy to not have to do that. It was close. You look here, right? I was behind all the way up till heading into Monday Night Football there, where I got a little worried. I was hoping, Diggs needed 12 points for me, and his projected 15. He ended up getting me a total of 27, so definitely did the job there. Putting my faith in Stephon Diggs. There's not another wide receiver there who I would want to put in there to get me that dub there, but taking a look at it, Geno had a rough week, but not as rough as Dak Prescott somehow had, despite getting like a 44-0 blowout against the New York Giants. Pollard did his job. Christian McCaffrey, fantastic week against Pittsburgh, which I know he was probably feeling a little conflicted about that, starting McCaffrey there. But, hey, 30 points is 30 points just about. Ramondre and Devontae, solid. Deontay Johnson's injured, unfortunately, sounds like, from that game. But Stephon Diggs, oh, my man, Stephon. Kadarius Toney, the stinker of the week. Really, I don't know if there was a player I had higher hopes for heading into week 1 than Kadarius Toney. Wide receiver 1 for Kansas City. Kelsey was out, so I was hoping that would increase his target share. He got targets, but he can't catch for shit, apparently, Mr. Butterfingers. So he got 1 point compared to Amon-Ra's 19. Pretty close on the tight end there. I had Evan Ingram to Hawkinson. Brandon Cooks didn't do much. Najee Harris couldn't get much going. Boswell didn't get much going because Pittsburgh had a hard time getting things going against San Francisco there. Butker did his job. And then betting against the Arizona D ended up being a solid bet for me. And Minnesota Vikings versus Tampa, which I believe was a last-minute adjustment there right before the game started by Travis. And I don't know who he had before. I'm trying to remember. But ended up not working out so great. Didn't get him negative points with 3 points for a 109.93 on the week to get me my first dub of the year. And to win that bet there. So thank you, Travis. It was a pleasure. I'll see you in week 10 there for another go-around. We'll see what bet we can put together there. Maybe I'll have to Uber eat you dinner or something. We can figure something out. But thanks for playing the Brady Fantasy Football Podcast game there. And I appreciate it. Next we got Aaron of Liberty Bibbity. Coming in strong. Newcomer strong. Strongest in the league by a long shot week 1 here. The next closest team was 115 by Majace, the defending champ, and he crushed it. Liberty Bibbity, I went over the draft. I sent you all the draft report card there. Looking at, this is probably the matchup I was most excited about heading into this week, because looking just at the draft, me and my buddy Jacob Stuckey, we sat down, did an hour-long podcast, diving into it all. I was going to chop it up, try to get to like a half-hour thing of the draft review. I butchered the recording. It had no audio for my buddy. Mine was in and out. You could hear the dogs the whole time who were in the garage. It was bad. So canceled that. Just took our grades and put it in that report card. But this was exciting to watch because he had, between the two of them, I thought they had the strongest drafts. So I really thought it was going to be an exciting matchup here week 1. And it was there for a little bit. Until Aaron kind of got going away there with Cowboys defense, which is really, 41 points. This is after we've reduced the points. If this was our old scoring, he would have been closer to 60, which is insane to think about. 60 points coming from a defense, but they got 41.6. Absolutely insane, historic week there for the Dallas Cowboys in terms of defense points. The other unfortunate thing for for Herb there was the Aaron Rodgers going down, getting 0 points. He got 4 plays in, I believe, until he ended his season and maybe his career there for the New York Jets. Technically undefeated as a Jet, so that's nice, but definitely not what he was hoping for when he picked him up later in the draft, and definitely not what the entire New York Jets fandom and team there was really rooting for. So unfortunate, but going down the rest there, Eckler, solid pickup. Keenan Allen, his Charger boys did good. Dicker got 12. Baltimore Ravens got 12. Solid showing from a defense, what you might expect from a solid defense. No one was expecting 41 points coming from the Dallas D week 1. Absolutely insane. On top of that, he also picked up Calvin Ridley, who I did expect to have a good week, but even better than expected at 24 points. His first game back in a year and a half after getting suspended for gambling the year before and injured before that. So he been a long time. People were worried, but it sounds like everything in camp and preseason, people are like, oh yeah, he's the dude. Turns out week 1, yeah, he's the dude. 2 touchdowns, instantly linked up, wide receiver 1 for the Jacksonville, and they're looking good. Excuse me. Going down the rest of this, A.J. Brown, solid. Not really too much. David Montgomery getting 13, super solid. Not really too much more to pick off here. Obviously, the MVP for this week is the Dallas Cowboys for him, 41 points. Absolutely insane. Absolutely fantastic job from Aaron. The draft looked great. Herb, your draft also looked great, but and if wasn't that for us Dallas D? See, if they got like 12 points like that, that's a 30-point difference. If they got a normal week's points, it would have been much closer, but they really ran away with it there, and it just happened to be one of the later games there on Sunday night. You still had Monday, but tried to catch him, but Aaron Rodgers going down right in the beginning. Right here is when the hopes probably died. 11:40 in the first quarter was because he could maybe caught him, right? It's a jump there, but it was possible. Aaron Rodgers was looking good heading in over the offseason there, and it was just unfortunate. So on to the next one. Cooked it versus Team 9. Team 9 starting off strong. I think I've seen this before where he starts off strong, and then we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But hey, strong start from Team 9. Justin Herbert leading the way with 20 points. Nick Chubb doing his job. Jamar Chase versus Cleveland. That was a very weird game where Cleveland and the Browns basically both did nothing, with Cleveland getting shut out. Garrett Wilson scraping together 14 points with that touchdown, crazy touchdown, despite Aaron Rodgers being out. Pitts, Drake London getting 0. Unfortunate there. I don't think it's over for Atlanta by any means, but it's clear that their strategy will not be through the air as much as maybe people were expecting. Jason Myers, kicker for Seattle there, 7, solid. And the Buffalo Bills D versus the New York Jets. Not a great showing, but not terrible, just not as good as the 49ers there. On the other side, Josh Allen and Joe Mixon both probably underperforming really from what was expected. Amari Cooper underperforming. Kenneth Walker, that's about right. 10 points, a little bit unexpected or underperforming. Jalen Waddle, again, a little bit under projections. Juju, I think, is the only one who probably met projections, and maybe Juwan there. But everyone else, his team looked super solid. I thought Cookdit's team looked good from the draft and stuff, but it's everyone just slightly underperforming, meaning it's a tough week to try to get a win there. Jalen Waddle got 12 points in that crazy 44-point game that was mainly led by Tyreek Hill, which we'll get into, I think, at the end here. But well played, Team 9. Way to get that dub at the start of the season. And we're on to the next one. Silver Spartans versus the Return of David. The Return of David is another L. I swear to God, every time I see you play, it's an L. Come on, Amy. 74 points. Lowest on the week. Again, not the start we want to see from Amy. With the Return of David. She's already sung the national anthem twice. I don't know if she will even survive a three-peat of beatings. She really, we hope that this next week goes better here. And Silver Spartans, 103, business as usual. You know what I mean? He's put together another solid roster. led by Jalen Hurts. With I know that everyone gives him crap about Deshaun Watson, which, I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't have drafted him personally. Personally, I wouldn't have drafted him. But he's on the bench, so not that terrible of a thing. Jalen Hurts and Aaron Jones leading the way, 26 points. Green Bay Packers D having a great week against the Chicago Bears there. Michael Thomas, that steal of the draft coming in. I couldn't help but notice that he doesn't have Bijan Robinson, who got 20 points, and that was his number one draft pick. And it's because apparently before the game here, before the games on Sunday, he didn't like how it looked on the Optimize or something. So he dropped him, if I'm right. Yeah, he dropped him. Oh, this was added, but yeah, he dropped him, his number one draft pick, for Deion Jackson before the game started. So he must have not liked it. Maybe he doesn't understand what was happening there. I called him and let him know, like, hey, man, you dropped your first-round draft pick, and it looks like now Amy's picked him up. So, I mean, hey, if she didn't get anything else this week, at least she got the number one draft pick from the Silver Spartans, who, I mean, that's crazy. So I guess, Steven over there is thinking, yeah, I don't need this guy. So 20 points. He did great. He did much better than Deion Jackson with 3 points there. But it is what it is. I realize I haven't been looking at the bench, and that's okay. We'll kind of touch on that some more. We're just going to kind of quick look through all this. Congrats, Silver Spartans, on the dub. Amy, get your shit together, girl. Come on. Next, Mahase versus Chicken Chucks. You almost got me with the H there. Almost like Flux again. So, lot to unpack here. Majace, the champ, the defending champ, comes back again with another, starting off the season with a win here. Solid team he's put together here. Mike Evans, Chris Olave, James Cook. I mean, everyone's doing their job. Eagles D, solid. But on the opposite side of this, you really have a team who had some pretty bad luck in Brian and almost pulled it out because of how freaking insane Tyreek Hill is. I mean, 46 points, 215 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns in a win. They barely won over the LA Chargers, but it was a win for week 1. Absolutely insane. There really wasn't too much he could do either. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa here on the bench for Mahase, and Jacoby Myers 29 points. So, I mean, his power, this is just a glimpse of his power, really, from what he could do, what he could have potentially done. His guys on the bench there. So that's pretty insane. But, I mean, Patrick Mahomes did his job, 19 points. Under projections, Detroit gave him a hell of a game and ended up coming away with a win, which was amazing. Absolutely great start to the season. Great start. Super fun to watch. I loved all the games this weekend. I'm so glad football's back. But Joe Burrow, getting that big money, the fat check, highest paid quarterback in NFL history, just giving you 3 points versus the Cleveland Browns. Very disappointing, to say the least. I'm sure Brian is probably the most disappointed out of all of us with that. Devontae Adams kept to a meager 12 points, while Jace's Jacoby Myers, the wide receiver 2, went crazy. So I think it's probably because they were covering Devontae Adams, and now he's questionable, so we'll see what happens there. Mark Andrews, out week 1, 0 points. Unfortunately, he didn't get to swap it out before the game started. 9 points could have been the difference there with Komet. Unlucky, as the word I'd wrap up for Brian there. Unlucky first week. He had all the ingredients there. Unfortunate. I think Tyler Lockett was in the injury tent too. Dobbins is out for the rest of the season, probably his career, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with him, which is just like the worst kind of injury, but he's out. He was looking insane, looking like a beast until this happened too. So 11 points and then injured, and that's it. So super unfortunate there. Really, I would just describe Brian's week 1 as unlucky, and Majace, kind of squeaked by there with I suppose maybe it's better to be good than lucky, right? Where Brian, your team is good, but Jace got lucky. So hopefully next week you can strike back. I don't know who you're playing against next week. If it's me, then never mind, take it back. Okay, yeah, it's not me. So yeah, you're good. You're good. Totally strike back next week, come home strong, and beat whoever you're up against. Super solid week. Glad football's back. Next, we're going to take a look at the next week's matchups. Do Your Job, the new Do Your Job team. Coug versus Cougdip. I like it. I got my Patriot boys in versus Miami. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that our defense is going to be able to hold them better than the Los Angeles Chargers did. No offense, Jake, but I think our defense is better. We're just built different. So I'm excited. Coming in, I'm seeing a bunch of Qs on your side. If Kelsey plays, ouchie boo-boo for me, but I'm hoping I can still beat you. Waddle, playing against New England, I'm, kind of just believing there. Judy, questionable. And then your homies there, Joshua Allen, favorable matchup. Mixon, could go either way. And on my side, I'm just betting on the Patriots, and then Diggs, Flowers, Pollard. My superstars there trying to get me by. I have benched Geno Smith. I'm waiting to see more from Bourne. Mattinson had a great week last week, but I'm letting him sit a little bit more because I think I like Hopkins this week versus the LA Chargers. We'll see what's the questionable, though. Got one of my own over there. And I picked up Nakua, who looks like the new Cooper Kupp for the Rams this year. Just basically filling right in for him. He's a rookie this year, running routes beautifully. He's got the speed. He's got the quickness. Like him a lot. I might throw him in over Hopkins. I'm waiting a little bit, sitting on that. Don't want to give away all my trade secrets, though. But yeah, best of luck, Scott. Best of luck, Scott, next week. And we'll see what happens. Next, we got Liberty Bibbity versus Kenny's Tiny Hands. Liberty Bibbity hoping to repeat that. He's got the Cowboys defense in again versus the New York Jets. This should be interesting. Looks like for the most part, I don't know if these are going to be the finals. Thursday night is tomorrow, or actually, when the time you're hearing this, it'll be tonight as Thursday Night Football. So, see what happens there. Ayuk also went crazy. Breece Hall looked amazing. Brock Purdy had a great game, so his bench is looking full. He's in a great spot. Montgomery, if they continue with the kind of how they were using him week 1, I think Montgomery's going to be a fantastic pickup. Kenny's Tiny Hands. He's not out by any means. He's got McCaffrey, Williams, Pittman, who had a fantastic week 1. Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's against Seattle. I like that. Hawkinson, Kittle. He's doing the double tight ends, homie, which I knocked him for on the draft. So I'm like, why do you need 2 tight ends? If you can start them both and they both go crazy, then I'm looking stupid. I totally forgot. Yeah, we got 2 tight end spots. Technically, you can throw them in there, so go ahead and do it. Yeah. Like this. In terms of matchups, I didn't say for the first one. I think I got to give it, even though I'm down about 15 points on the projections. I think my team is built different. So I'm going to say it's going to be me, baby. It's going to be me. Next, Liberty Bibbity versus Kenny's Tiny Hands. I think I'm going to give this to Liberty Bibbity. And really, when it comes down to that, I actually take it back. Looking at this, I like Kenny's Tiny Hands a little bit better. I think I'm going to go with Kenny's Tiny Hands. I think I like his team better this week, the matchups and stuff. Looking at it, the projections are really close. And I think I'd like Breece Hall over maybe Montgomery, but Breece Hall's also up against Dallas, so I can understand the hesitation there. But it's also like, I don't know, he looked amazing week 1. He just ripped it a couple times down the field. Ayuk also being out versus LA, interesting. I guess I don't know who else he'd throw out. CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown, probably not. So solid pick. On this end, I think he's got it lined up to where he wants it. I would bench Najee versus Cleveland after what they did to the Bengals last week. But I guess we'll see. And then Richardson versus Houston. I actually might like that better than the Prescott, to be honest. Richardson was a good pickup. I don't think he had him last week. I could be wrong, though. Maybe he already did have him. I'd throw Richardson in, and I think that'd be better. But I think I'm going to give this one to Travis. I think Travis will get the dub. We'll see if Liberty Bibbity can repeat his outstanding performance last week from the Dallas D. And I don't know, maybe Dallas D will be MVP for him or something this year. We'll see. But next one, Herb versus Silver Spartans. This one, straight up, just looking at it, I'm liking these guys over here a little bit better. Nothing wrong with your team, Daddio, but Deion Jackson, not liking him as much. Aaron Jones is at 0 points projected because something's going on. I'm not entirely sure. Injuring his hamstring after a 35-yard catch and touchdown. So, oof, ouchie, boo-boo. That's really rough if that's the case. But Deion Jackson don't like. Godwin's solid, Metcalf solid, Schultz solid, Michael Thomas super solid value pick that you got later, especially since Kupp was out. Looking at the rest of the people here, I'd keep Watson on the bench. I'd just drop him if that was me personally. I'm a little bit different, but I would just drop him if I was in your position there. I like Herb's team. I'm liking Goff. He looked great versus Kansas City. Eckler, super solid. Hopefully he's healthy.
Sounds like they're expecting him to play, but he's resting or something this week. Barkley against Arizona, money. Keenan Allen versus Tennessee, I like it. Derrick Henry, big fan of that. The triple, he's got his 3 just ridiculously good running backs in, which is what I liked about his draft. Dicker back in, Jets. Yeah, I'm liking it. Packers D. Packers might end up being a super solid team this year. Jordan Love, they just seem to know how to pick quarterbacks, so we'll see what happens there. But I'm liking it. I will give this one to Herb. I didn't do that for last week. I don't know why. I guess I forgot about to do my predictions, but it is what it is. We're rolling with it. Team 9 versus Mahase. This one is tough. Historically, Team 9 ain't got nothing on Mahase, but new season, we always got to take a look at what's going on. So Herbert versus Mahomes. I like Mahomes better with this matchup, but Herbert is never a bad pick. I think he's fantastic. Chubb versus Jacobs. I like Chubb better, especially versus Pittsburgh. Josh Jacobs versus Buffalo is going to be a little bit rougher. Sanders versus Cook. I think I like Cook a little bit better versus Las Vegas, but it's close. Jamar Chase versus Evans. I'll give that to Jamar, my man. Garrett versus Olave. I'll give this. Garrett Wilson is the better athlete. Olave has better fantasy value, so I'm gonna give this to Olave. Pitts versus Waller. I'm gonna give this one to Pitts versus Green Bay. I mean, I was just talking about how good their defense is, but Waller, the New York Giants. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. They're up against Arizona, and I want to root for them, but maybe New York Giants are also on Arizona's level, and it's just gonna be full garbage the whole game. Because I don't know what the hell happened last week against the Dallas Cowboys, where they looked terrible. They looked like just an absolute terrible team. But I guess that's what happens when it's 44-0. It's hard to get any bright spots there. Debo versus Drake London, like Debo better. Myers versus McPherson. I mean, kickers are kickers. At the end of the day, it's kind of all over the place. And then Bucks versus Eagles, I like the Eagles defense better. So just head to head, I'm liking Jace's team better. There's a handful of picks here. I mean, I think it's going to be very close. Again, Jace just could get lucky. It looks like he's kept Tugalova on the bench and Myers on the bench. Myers is in concussion protocol after that dirty hit on him. I wouldn't throw Tua in versus New England. That's just me personally. I'm a little biased there against I wouldn't put it in versus our defense. And then Myers, the concussion at Buffalo, I'd keep it as is. I'm liking all the starters here. I mean, Dalvin Cook versus Dallas would definitely not start that. Cousins versus Philly. Yeah, I wouldn't start Herbert. Over that. So, yeah, I'm liking who they got started. I like where they're at. I will give this one to Mahase. I like his team a little bit better this week. Best of luck, Corey. We're both 1-0. It's always like that when that's the 1-0 matchup. So, you guys are both 1-0. So, one of you will get to continue to remain undefeated, and the other one will not. That's also, I think that's the only one going on this week. Yeah, that's the only 1-1 matchup. So when you guys have a chance to stay undefeated, but one of you will ruin the other person's chance to go undefeated. So that's fun. Best of luck, boys. We'll see what happens next. Return of David versus Chicken Chucks. Both these guys looking to bounce back this week. Amy had a very rough first week, but she picked up Bijan, who I don't see this starting yet. Bijan and Kamara still. We got a couple more weeks till it's go time for him. But Bijan, I'd throw him in. Heck yeah, I'd throw him in over Gerald Everett. I'd get him out of there, man, and get Bijan in. Because Bijan, he looks good. Their rushing game looks great for the Atlanta Falcons. They're up against Green Bay, which isn't ideal, but it's still better than I think Gerald Everett versus Tennessee in terms of potential points, ceiling. So Lamar Jackson, I'll do the same thing. Lamar Jackson versus Burrow. Lamar Jackson's first game, he got no points, which is very confusing. They're playing against each other this week, so I was seeing that too. Lamar Jackson versus Joe Burrow, so they get to go head to head here. I like Burrow better this week, to be honest, but yeah, it's slight edge to Joe Burrow there. Connor versus Swift. I'm liking Connor better, even though he's on Arizona. I've tried to stay away from Arizona, but if the New York Giants end up being actual trash, then, hey, James Conner could go off. ETN versus, I don't know how to say his last name, Allegier? I don't know how to say his last name. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. The other running back for Atlanta. I think also if he throws Bijan in, that'd be fun, because both of these guys got, Allegier, or whatever his name, did a little bit better last week than Bijan, but that'd be a fun versus again as well. I like ETN better here. He looked great. They're up against KC. I think he'll be able to do fine. Higgins versus Adams. Definitely like Adams better. Jefferson versus Tyreek. Ooh, that's a tough one, but I'm going to give it to Tyreek. Even though he's up against New England, Tyreek is just insane. And any points that they get, it's basically going to him, in my opinion. Jefferson on Thursday could be interesting. Goddard also, the double whammy there for the Philly special. Going back, I mean, they're back together, back playing against each other, so it's interesting there. Mandrews, if he's back next week, and Lamar Jackson, they're like both siphoning, they're siphoning off of each other here, so that's some good synergy there for the chicken chucks. Lockett versus Everett. I mean, I think he should switch that up for Bijan, or she should switch it up for Bijan, but I like Lockett better. Koo versus Tucker. Tucker's the amazing. Oops, I don't want to click that. Tucker's amazing, but I think, Koo's going to have more opportunities from Atlanta. Steelers versus Saints. I wouldn't put the Steelers D in, that's for sure. Saints D isn't a bad choice here at all by any means. Good job, Ryan, there. You picked up Jordan Love, I see. Fantastic pickup. It's good insurance in case Burrow continues to throw some low numbers there. Gabe Davis, also solid. Sit on your bench there. Williams here. Jamar Williams, solid. I mean, his bench is looking pretty strong as well. Amy's got Jones, who didn't do much, and Kamara, who can't do anything. Marquise, who's on Arizona, gross. B. Robinson, and then another kicker. Drop the kicker, girl. You don't need two kickers. You got especially you got like on the number one kicker. Get rid of him, homie. Be on that waiver. I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna give this one to Brian. It's close though. It's very, very close. Just because of the Mandrews to Lamar Jackson, Adams, Tyreek Hill here. I don't know, man. I think it'll be close. I mean, basically, some of these are like a coin flip, right? But I think the edge here goes to Brian for sure. Besides that, the only other thing we'll take a look at is what was happening on the waivers. So the transactions here. What's crazy is he didn't even pick. Is that true? He didn't even pick this up in the draft. He just picked it up after. He added the Dallas Cowboys defense after the draft. That's crazy. An insane pickup. I didn't even realize that. Adding Jacoby Myers, also a great pickup. Oh, he dropped Anthony Richardson. That's right. Cooked it. Solid pickup. Juwan did great. Jalen Warren didn't do anything. Sanders for Pat Freiermuth, also solid. Freiermuth actually got a touchdown, but I mean, he needed a kicker. That's way better. Saints versus New York Jets D, solid. Next, we got Silver Spartans. This was insane to me, dropping Deion Jackson. I don't think he realized who Bijan Robinson was. That was his first-round draft pick. Like, that's your most investment right there, just dropped for Deion Jackson, which is insane. He got 3 points last week, and I wouldn't put my faith in him, but I understand. He probably had higher projected points, and I don't even remember if they were playing, but I don't know. That's tough. Minnesota Vikings versus Chargers defense, much better pickup in hindsight. I think Chargers were negative because how many points were scored. Kenny Pickett dropped Juju. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I see you, Steelers fan. I added Juju and dropped Kenneth. Oh, no, he added Juju and dropped Kenneth. I think Kenneth ended up probably being a better keep, but Juju was looking better at that point. Games happened. All the games happened. I had to change the waivers. I was in the group chat about that. Bijan goes to Amy, who had the highest waiver priority. That's an excellent pickup. I think that could really change your whole season if you start him. I mean, that could be a huge win for you. Kenny's tiny hands added Anthony Richardson. Great pickup again. Had a great week one. I think he looks best out of the rookie quarterbacks that played. Chicken Chucks added Tyler Allegia. I don't know how to say his name. Dropped AJ Dillon. Solid move by Brian. Very heads-up move. Herb Enthusiasm added the New York Jets and dropped Baltimore defense. Solid. All the streaming defenses going there. I dropped his ass, Tony. Good God, that was so disappointing. I have him like in 5 leagues too. I'm like in 7 leagues this year. I dropped it. I have like 5 leagues I have to drop him in now because he dropped. I dropped him in as many leagues as he dropped those passes. You know what I mean? Crazy. Bibbidi Bibbidi adding Hayden Hurst, who had a great week one. Dropping Njoku. Rashid Shahed added and dropped Cole Kmet. Interesting. I'll trust that Brian knows what's happening. I thought Cole Kmet had a solid week one, 9 points or something like that, especially because it's his only backup to Mandrews. But if Mandrews is back, I mean, I guess you don't need another tight end. So, added Kendrick Bourne for Christian Kirk, who I thought was going to be the number 2 wide receiver for Jacksonville. Is the clear number 3, if that. Kendrick Bourne looking like the number 1 for New England, which was crazy. He went off. I hope he can keep it up. Also added Puka. He looks like the new Cooper Kupp. Did fantastic week one. Hoping he can give me some solid points for the year. I also added the New England Patriots defense and dropped the Washington Commanders. I just grabbed them for week 1 because they're playing Arizona. And the Patriots D is going up against Miami, and I know some people would probably say I'm crazy. I think the New England Patriots are going to be able to hold them much better than the Chargers did, but that's just me. So we'll see what happens. Next, we got Herb Enthusiasm adding Jared Goff. Solid pickup. He had a great week 1 versus the Kansas City Chiefs there, getting that dub. Herb Enthusiasm also added Joshua Kelly, another solid pick, dropping Christian Watson, which is interesting. I think Christian Watson's ended up being great, but yeah, he's out. I think he was out week 1 because of a hamstring or something like that. I'm not entirely sure what it was. I just I've probably been leaning forward this entire time, so you just get a nice shot of my forehead if you're watching the video. Anyways, Chicken Chucks dropped J.K. Dobbins. Rip. Sorry, my man. J.K. Dobbins out for the season. That is just so sad. And then adding Jordan Love, which I think is a solid pick. Green Bay seems to know to pick those quarterbacks. He's been watching Aaron Rodgers the past couple of years, and it looks like he knows what he's doing. Very, very good stuff. Good job all around. Take a quick look at the standings. That's where we're at. Off to a flying start. 5 winners, 5 losers, and on to week 2. Trying to think anything else to add, but I think that's it. So thank you very much for tuning in. This has been another episode of the Brady Fantasy Football Podcast. Signing off. I should probably look here. Sorry, I'm not used to the video yet,